What's up? What's going on? Oh, shit. My name's Jollz. I'm a Radiant player. If you're enjoying this type of content, be sure to like and subscribe, considering 80% of you guys are still not subscribed. I do these coaching sessions live, so you're more than welcome to swing by the stream and ask questions. If you're interested in coaching yourself, click the link in the description, click the book a lesson button, and select your plan and time. Lastly, if you want a chance to win free coaching, be sure to comment down below your Discord name and why you think you deserve it. I'll be picking out a person randomly. Other than that, enjoy the video. Today we are coaching a silver player, silver gold player. Okay, so this person is silver 3 at the moment. Plat 2 peak. Okay, ADR is a little bit low, yeah. So 132 is a little bit low. Yes, this person plays Sentinels and Initiator. But even with Sentinels and Initiators, you want to aim for like 140 damage per round. KD is a bit low. Headshot percentage is a bit low. So I can already tell that this is probably more so a crosshair placement issue, right? This is like crosshair placement and like gun control issue. It's all right. Let's give this another. Okay. All right. Chat, what is wrong with this first round buy? The buy, well, if you can't see it, it's half armor, double trips, and 1 sheriff shot. Okay, I don't like going armor. If you go armor, you can't go trips. And I don't like getting trips if you're going armor. So for chamber, Headhunter is really strong. And you want to get more bullets for it. Either you sacrifice armor or more shots or 1 trip in your defense. All right, I literally wrote a thesis, but hopefully that helps, right?
One enemy remaining.
Okay, insta crouching, kind of spamming a little bit too quick with the pistol here, so be careful with crouching a bit too early and spamming your classic. Be a little bit more patient with the shots and focus on micro adjusting your crosshair to their head. You also, okay, so you also want to set up your TPs aggressively at the start of every round. TP? I would have dropped my TP down first. So if you miss, you can just take the TP. Guys, I don't know how many times I have to say this. Crouching is not bad. What's bad is over committing to gunfights. It's about not being cocky. Yeah. Is crouching in all elos good? Yeah. You see how like the round started and the TPs aren't set up. You don't have both trips. It's just 1 trip, right? Like, and you have it set up on B. It's just not really doing much for your teammate, right? Okay, so right now we see Brimstone. So, okay. We have Brimstone, you know, mid here, right? So Brim is mid and he's watching mid, okay? In this example, Brim is watching mid from Boiler, right? So what happens if he gets smoked off? Nobody is watching tube plus under tube. Stacking isn't necessarily bad, but just make sure you have a safety net for your team. Yeah, that'll be the biggest points when playing chamber, right? Good angle though. Re-peek it, fuck it. But just throw your TP down. Nicholas, what's up? Okay. Perhaps after this coaching session, I got you. TP's up.
Last player.
Make sure if your TPs come back up, you set them up. Also, if you're up numbers, you don't have to peek angles. You have your ult now, full armor, you're big chillin'. So you could put a trip here, which is fine, but I would put one for either mid, or I would probably put one for mid and B, rather than like outside of A. Oh. Careful with pulling out your knife when you're trying to take space like this. Every time you push into sight or take space, you want to have your gun out. All right, throw your TP down somewhere here.
Enemy spotted B.
Reloading.
Okay, we're farming. TP down, TP down, TP down. No.
Here.
I also don't like how you're peeking around some of the corners too. You're kind of holding W around corners, right? So, all right, let me show you. This is something that you've kind of been doing a lot of. And be careful of peeking too close to the angles, okay? So holding W like this is never the move. what you want to be doing is peeking like this. You want to be, not only do you want to be away from the angle, but you want to be holding only your strafe key. One, it displaces your movement a lot further with the same amount of allotted time as you would if you just use your strafe key rather than holding W and A in this example, right? Not only that, but later down the road, you can counter strafe things better. I don't want to introduce you to counter strafing just yet, but that's something that you can work on. You always want to be far away from the angle. When you are close to the angle, they see you before you see them. Your whole shoulder sticks out before you're even peeking because you're close to the angle. But if you play like this Brim, you're actually far away and you have more control. You have more time to react when you're peeking further back. Even though we are winning here, I feel like I have 0 impact. I'm just getting carried. Am I playing too passive? I just don't want to die first, or else I can... So sometimes games go like this. I don't think you're playing passive. I think on defense you were playing fine. You were playing aggressive when you needed to. I would just make sure you're following up your teammates a bit more, right? On attack, the goal is to try and scale with your team together. You want to throw trips down, watch flank, plus TP down from where you're originally, and then try and trade your teammates. Opinions on comms? I only start looking at comms at like platinum up. I think there's a lot more fundamental importance than comms in general. Okay, so like this. I would throw my second TP. Okay. Yeah, you're watching your teammate. This is good.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, crosshair placement's too high. Okay, this is a common thing. Crosshair placement is a bit too high. You want to aim it down a bit. What grammar corrector are you using? I'm not using a grammar corrector. As you can, I mistype a lot of words. I'm borderline illiterate.
Give me those back.
Do each other tonight.
I've got your trail.
Well, that looks for a fight.
Healer down.
I crouch a lot as well. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
One enemy remaining.
Spike is down.
Spike down A.
I have the spike.
A quick switch. Okay, never quick switch. Never quick switch. Never pull. I'm just gonna put quick switch. Never quick switch when you have your chamber ult. You can shoot this thing so fast if you just keep the gun out. You do? Okay, yeah. So basically, if you have the chamber ult out, you could have gotten that set. You could have literally re-peeked and killed them. CS:GO habits? Yeah, I figured.
Attackers win.
Yeah. Some people do it to look cool. I mean, that's what people did it in Counter-Strike for the most part. Quick switching was just, I mean, people still do it, even in Valorant. It's not bad. All right, overall, decent game. There's just a couple things that are sticking out for me, right? Your setups is a big thing. So one thing, I think you won a lot of your 1v1s. I think your aim overall was pretty decent. You got into sight, you try to play the objective, right? You planted the bomb on attack, you TP'd out, you started watching flank. It was a little bit late, so there is a little window where flanks can... Definitely, there's timings that can be formed when doing it, but overall, I think your aim was good, and crosshair placement wasn't that bad. Sometimes you're a little bit high, but definitely a lot better than most silver players. What should Jared spend time practicing before the next session? Okay, this is gonna be a big one, right? So the main things to focus on are your chamber setups. You need to have your chamber trips, both of your trips before the round even starts, and your TP set, right? Another thing that you also want to focus on is not crouching right away. There's a lot of times where you're just committing to a gunfight literally instantly. Crouching isn't necessarily bad, but you want to not overcommit. You only want to commit after 2 to 3 bullets. The first 2 to 3 bullets kind of gauges where the fight is going to go. If your crouch was on them, you can commit and then crouch afterwards, but don't ever crouch beforehand, and don't always crouch in every single gunfight. Another thing I mentioned was crosshair placement is a little bit high. And as well as like on defense, you want to put trips where you're not playing. That was a big thing. You want to put your trips on places where your team has to not really watch that area. So that's something I'd focus on. And scaling with your team on attack. When your team is going in, you want to go in with them and try and trade their deaths off. And basically just play around your teammates a little bit more on attack side. Jeez, what should we work on in our next session? Okay. So in our next session, I would definitely want to take a look at counter strafing in general, and really just define what good peeking is. and show you really good examples of how you should be peeking. You should always put your back to your wall when you're peeking certain corners. Your comms. That's another thing that I want to take a look at is basically your comms, how you're communicating to your teammates, what you're communicating to your teammates, and that kind of good information calls that you should relay to your team. Tasks. Peek far away from angles. Chamber trips should be placed where you're not stacking / holding. Should be used, so use them for info on defense. What else do I want you to start practicing on? Don't crouch right away. Go into a deathmatch and focus on not committing to gunfights. I'm unbind crouch. No, don't unbind crouch. Don't unbind crouch. Crouch is good. Tell yourself in your mind, I'm only gonna crouch after 2 to 3 bullets. Okay. Other than that, though, pretty good. Pretty good. Crosshair placement. I didn't want to write that down as like a task, but you can go into a custom game. I forgot to write that down, but you can go into a custom game and run around the map or deathmatching. Deathmatching, kids should crosshair placement pretty used to where head level is going to be for the most part. That's why I'm balding. We know we in chatty, your channel is desolate. You watch your peak and you'll never be relevant. Now we got beef and